You are now listening to Shoot the Shit with your hosts, Shawnee Caulfield and Sal Licata. Enjoy the show. Woo!
Hey everybody, welcome to Sal and Shawnee Shoot the Shit. This is episode 10. How you doing today, Sal?
Not bad, Shawnee. How are you?
I'm good. I'm your Major Mark's favorite Major Mark, Shawnee Caulfield. And I'm so excited today, Sal. We have a great guest. This is like totally different from any episode we've done before. Are you excited to bring on the guest?
Yes. I can't believe we've been doing this shit for 10 weeks straight. But yes, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what you got for us here.
Hey, I'm excited. We're going to have to dig deep. And I don't mean that just as a saying. I mean that literally, okay? Our friend Jordan Mindbender is filming a show in Canada right now. He is one of the most, honestly, he's such a great magician. He hit me up. Remember I told you about the one strap macho that I have, Sal?
Yeah.
So Jordan was the one that hit me up like, yo, run and get this thing. The wrestling universe has this on for sale, $250, because he saw it in the video that Broski posted that they had the wrong price on it. And meanwhile, that's like a couple grand piece, right? So I run over real fast. I try to get it. They bumped the price to $1,500 on me, or $3,000. They bumped the price to $3,000. And I told Jack, I said, Jack, I'm only buying it if I pay $1,500. And I went and I got it. I got it that night. But he's the reason why I have it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he hit me up like, Shawnee, go get that. Like, that is super rare, you know? So I'm bringing him in. His name is Jordan. And here he comes. Jordan, you got to unmute and take your video off, brother. Maybe I have to unmute.
I don't know.
Oh, there we go. Yes. Yeah, there we go.
I've never
brother.
done this before.
It's all right. Jordan, welcome to the show. This is Sal, obviously. We just introduced ourselves. He's recording from inside a coffin under 6 feet of Canadian ground.
Yes, yeah, and it's fucking freezing.
Yeah.
Can we swear?
Yeah, we can swear.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll tone it down though. I'll tone it down. I don't.
Well, Shawnee's mom might get upset if you're cursing. But other than
No,
that,
we don't want to upset the
Right.
Miss Caulfield here. You know?
Yeah. It's okay, man. Don't worry. But we just have a joke.
Thank you for having me, guys.
No, of course.
dude, so let me, before we get into this, I just want to ask you the obvious question. What the fuck are you doing? And what happens if you have an issue? Like, what if you start to freak out and panic? How do you get out from there quickly with being buried 6 feet under?
I mean, that's a great question. We haven't figured that out yet. Like, I'm being serious. Like, if anyone was watching my Instagram earlier today, we were digging the hole literally about an hour ago. So, that type of stuff I'm just hoping doesn't happen, right? I made it spacious enough because I was feeling that if the coffin was small, then that's what would freak me out.
Yep.
I'm hearing weird like cracks and stuff, which kind of is sketching me out a bit, but I'm just hoping it's the wood expanding or whatever because of the cold. But I don't know, man. I'm just hoping for the best, right?
Yeah, and I didn't even notice, Jordan, but what do you have around your arms right there? Are you also
handcuffs?
Oh, so you got handcuffs. And what about, do you have your legs in there too, or what?
Yes, right now my legs are in the sleeping bag, and because we're on live, I don't want to mess with anything.
Of course.
But there is a set of handcuffs on my legs too. And I have this paper clip right here that I'll open up at 6:30 a.m. tomorrow. I'll pick my locks, and I will try to get out of this grave.
Can I borrow you to go to Bank of America real quick?
So
the girlfriend locked the bank accounts.
So the whole point of this is that you're going to get out of this, is what you're saying.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not that you're, because for me the challenge is mentally like, oh my God, you're buried 6 feet under for however many hours in a coffin I mentally cannot. I don't even like watching you doing it, freaking me out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I had a big talk with my family. A lot of them haven't talked to me for the day, which is upsetting, but I get where they're coming from. This is not normal. This is, mentally. So it is weird. But I mean, that I don't want to, there's two factors here. One is endurance, and that's being able to stay in ground with a clear head, mentally fine all these hours. But the art is the escape, and then everyone will be able to see that on my new TV show that should be out later in the new year, and my stage show, because I am working on a version to do this nightly at my stage show, which Houdini never was able to do.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty amazing. And to be honest, like we're gonna keep you. I know you have some time, so we're gonna do the show with you here. And if and then we'll get into more stuff as the show goes. And like I said, you're on the show with us, bro. So if you want to say something, go ahead. Don't feel like you can't say stuff. So
I appreciate it. And I've watched every episode. I swear to you, I've watched every episode, and I love it.
We appreciate it so much, man. You know how I feel about that stuff,
Yeah, no, you guys are great together.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Sometimes filming all this all these episodes every week, especially when you're as busy as me and Sal, and how it is to be busy, Jordan, right? So it's like to make this hour a week, it's my favorite hour, but we want to make sure that we also are doing good at it. You know what I mean?
Right. We want to make sure that somebody is fucking watching other than Mrs. Caulfield.
Well, I watch, and I do see a rise in view. Like, you guys are so healthy in the way you guys are growing, right? And I think every episode I've noticed it's a huge jump. So good for you. Whatever you guys are doing,
Thanks,
you're doing
man.
it right. And that's what matters, right?
Yeah, I put us onto TikTok, and we got like 1,500 views the first TikTok. So that
Wow.
Yeah, so it's cool. Great. It's cool. But all right, guys, let's go with follow-up. So follow-up is where we go back on anything we might have missed or something from last week. I have a couple follow-ups. So AEW Spectrum cards are now out. They actually are very cool to look at. This is an example of them. This is just one of the base cards that I got.
Who is that?
So this is Penelope Ford. That was the first question I asked too. Now,
yeah.
Who is that? And why don't I know her?
Yeah. Who is she, and is she on Twitter?
Yeah. So that's that. It's a really cool card set. The only thing is it's very expensive right now, and you only get 7 cards in the set. So it's kind of like the same thing as Impeccable, but a little less cards and a little less known people. So second one is Swaggle Major Bendy is up for pre-order. There's like a week and a half left. If you want to pre-order that, go to majorpodmerch.com, I believe, or majormarks.com.
Now, is this a second release, or is this the original release?
This is the second release. They have his tattoos on it now. They have a bunch of different stuff. And the last one I have is Matt went to Ireland to he got booked to face a fan that was a fan of Zack Ryder's his whole life, right? And Matt wrestled him, and I thought it was so cool because Matt was supposed to go over and win, and the kid got him in like a Walls of Jericho, and Matt surprisingly tapped and let the kid win.
Wow, and that's great.
To me, I thought that was the coolest story. You know what I mean?
That gives me goosebumps. The kid had no idea he was
no
gonna
idea,
win.
Bro. You see his face in the video. Billy Peck made a video or whatever, and I'll send it to you guys after we're done. And it's like basically like him talking about how he was a fan of Zack Ryder, and then you see the footage of him, and when Matt taps out, he like shits himself because he thought he did something wrong. And you just see it, and you instantly get that chill in your spine. Like, oh my God, like it must have made this kid's whole year, you know?
Can you send me that show? Is it in the group?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's in the group.
Okay, send me that. Yeah, I need to see that.
So it was amazing. So I had to mention it on here because people shit talk Matt for his bad qualities, but we also need to show his good qualities, right? You know, and this is definitely like to me, this is like a Brian Myers moment. Like that's something that that's something that I would expect Brian to do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Why does Matt get such a bad rap? I don't understand it.
I think Matt is more about money. And I think when you're more about money,
he's a fucking brilliant businessman.
He's
a genius.
I agree. Yeah. I don't feel that way about Matt. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I do feel like Matt is carnier than other wrestlers. You know, like
I don't know.
Yeah, just a
I don't know what that.
Like carny means like being like Sal, like if you're my fan and you give me a gift and then I sell it on whatnot, that's carny. Like I'm giving you a gift and you're going and selling it on whatnot. You know,
right?
What I mean?
Well, what if I didn't want it? What am I going to do?
Just tell me no. You know what I mean?
Well, then you don't want to be rude. I mean, either way, you can't win. I'm not.
True,
look, I get
true,
it.
I get it.
I've followed the pod enough to. You know, I'm an original. What do you call it, Shawnee? What are we supposed to call?
You're a
newbie.
A newbie? Yeah.
You're a newbie.
I'm a fucking
I followed
newbie.
it from the beginning, and I become friendly with Brian. I know I've hung out with Matt, and maybe once or twice. I forget what it was, but I've gotten to talk to him a little bit too. I do think they get it, or Matt gets a bad rap. Yeah, he's a little bit different, but you have to understand that he's the business.
Yeah,
he is a brilliant business mind.
He really is. He really
brilliant.
Is. He really is. What do you think, Jordan? What do you think about this stuff?
I'm a business guy, especially with media and a different art like wrestling or magic. So I see everything Matt has done, even back in the woo days, right? Like he's brilliant. He really is.
Right.
He's super creative and he thinks about other ways to make money. But like Sal, what I meant was like I think a lot of fans feel like if they don't spend money, they don't get looked at, right? So I think in that way, and I get it. I completely get it. I get the counter, argument. But sometimes like how they changed the song, right? And they're saying like we're changing the song, but a lot of people, that song is what built them and what made people love them. So now it's like some famous version done by a group that nobody gives a fuck about. So now it's like we miss that, and I feel
but they also there's a part of you also have to evolve. You can't say
I agree.
Still.
I agree 100%.
The other thing is the other counter, and then we can move on, Shawnee. But the last thing that I would say is, what two wrestlers in the world are more accessible than Matt and Brian?
Nobody.
I mean, they have a Facebook group that they interact with, and they are essentially one with their community. There is their accessibility, their kindness in certain spots, the way that they can become relatable and just down to earth and hang out, literally drink with their fans, take pictures, make the fans a part of the group.
It's true, bro. It's true.
I don't get how people look. Some people are never going to be happy with anything you do.
That's just what it is,
Yeah, but look at, Matt is he's in the group. He's not like he's being better than anybody. He's in the group with everybody.
No, I know, but listen, I've seen Matt though be that way, so I'm not gonna say that he's not that way. He has been that way, so I'm not gonna sit here and act like he's an angel. He's not, But nobody's an angel. That's what it is. At the end of the day, like we all make mistakes.
But that's an awesome story. And by the way, there was one that we didn't get to a couple weeks ago. I guess the daughter of the British Bulldog. Maybe you heard this on the pod a couple weeks ago.
Yes, I did. Yep.
The daughter of the British Bulldog wanted to purchase one of Matt's. He had the stuffed animal British Bulldog from years ago.
Yep.
And he's like, I can't sell this to her. Like,
no
this
way.
is Davey Boy Smith. I can't sell it. So he sent it to her. Now, I know people give Matt shit because it's always about, taking every last penny, whatever it may be. But that also shows good character right there. Where
for sure,
you can't sell that to Davey Boy Smith's
daughter.
Way. And he did the right thing and gave it to her. So he's got it may not be as much as Brian, who is like legitimately one of the nicest dudes that I've ever met.
Yeah.
but he's got good
Oh
character.
no, for sure. I agree. But let's move on from
And
there.
letting that guy go over is great. You got to send me that video.
I'll definitely send you that video. That to me, like, just shows me who you are, and yeah, that's it. So we're gonna go to Steel Posts, guys. So Steel Posts is when we take your posts from the Patreon and we go over them and talk about it. Sal, I got a couple posts. Do you want to go with yours and then I'll go with mine?
I don't think I have any this week.
Okay,
Shorty.
so let me go with mine. So look at this. So this is from Bradley Netherton. He said, looks like the new owner of the belt decided to have plates put on a new leather strap. So all of a sudden I see this picture and I'm like, wait, what is going on, right? So apparently, I could be wrong, but I read down into the comments because the owner that bought this belt, which this is Matt's, I think, original belt from WWE.
Matt doesn't own that?
Matt tried, this is what I'm trying to get into. Matt tried to get it. He asked the owner who was selling it, like, hey, let me know how much you're looking for. I want to buy this. So he said, okay, I have a couple offers coming in. Time goes by. Matt texts him again, like, hey, what's up? Did you come up with a number? And he ended up selling it to somebody else and didn't give Matt a chance to offer anything. So then this guy in the group, I forgot his name, but he commented on the post and said, hey, I'm the buyer. He told me that you didn't want it, so I bought it, and I got it put onto this new leather. So that's why it's on the new leather. So Matt, he said, like, Matt, he told the kid was like, who owns it now, was like, Matt, I'm so sorry. I would have, just let you buy it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so I don't know where that went, but yeah, so this is the actual original belt, I believe.
Yeah, but now why would he put it on different leather?
I don't know why he did that. I'm not sure. I don't know how the belt collecting works in that.
And that
sense.
would, to me, like, if I'm Matt, that would piss me off because it's not the original one. But whatever. I mean, it's his to do what he wants.
That's how I would feel too, right? That's how I felt, like, because like if you take away the original leather, the strap, that's what it was held on. So it's like you take the I don't know. What do you think, Jordan? What do you think about that?
I saw that earlier or a couple of days ago. I didn't really understand though. Like I didn't know Matt never had it. But again, like, should he have a right to it? It's the British Bulldog thing as well, right?
Yep.
So I mean, if that was truly his idea and his creation, which I do believe, he should have it. He should absolutely have it. But again, if it slipped out of his hands, I don't know how he never was able to get it in the first place. I think I missed that in the thread.
Right. I'm surprised he didn't steal it from WWF.
Me too. I'm shocked he didn't get that. I'm shocked he didn't take it with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He could create a new one, right?
Yeah, I mean, anybody could create a new belt. You know what I mean?
Right. So he just a replica, essentially
it would be
use.
Like let's say, for example, if he buys that same belt that kid just bought, maybe he could get back the strap that was taken off and get it put back on.
So he could have it, but all right, but he wants the original. He doesn't want just the design.
No, I believe he wants the original. That's what he was saying on the pod.
Right, I get it.
So this one is the second one. The same thing. A lot of Matt news this week too. Matt started going off on this vintage toy place in Tulsa. So what happened was, apparently Matt was booked for the weekend in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Okay. He goes, it got canceled or something like that. And he says, fuck Vintage Toy Mall and Rad.
Well, he was booked. He was booked to do an event, right? Wasn't he supposed to either wrestle or something like that?
Yes, he was booked to wrestle, and it wasn't going to sign anything. Apparently, this fucking carny promoter said, like, without even asking Matt, went to the promoter of this thing and said, hey, I could get you Matt Cardona for this much. So I guess like he didn't, like it was all a scam, right? But I feel bad because the owner of the Tulsa toy store didn't know, because he was going through a promoter, like a third party. So he trusted the third party guy. And then when Matt saw that the third party guy was making like these shirts, he was making like these shirts here, like poking fun at Matt. Matt thought it was the toy store that made it, but in the end, both parties were mad at the third party guy because he was the one that was scamming them.
Right. And how did it get resolved? Matt just didn't show up for any of it?
So Matt didn't show up. He said, like, it's too much going on. But if you remember, Sal, remember I spoke about the Tulsa's toy store that Kevin Nash also ripped?
Right.
It's the same toy store. How weird is that?
So is there a problem with the store then?
So in this case, no. But Nash commented back to Matt and said, I rest my case. So yeah, that's that. How you doing down
we
there,
got Jordan? By the way, Jordan, how do you go to the bathroom?
I'm not. I've been fasting for 2 days.
Oh,
I've not had anything to eat. I took some laxatives on what day are we? I'm so sorry. Wednesday, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I have not had anything to drink or eat since Monday.
Oh my God.
So you know that you're not going to have to go to the bathroom regardless.
Right. Just in case, though. I got a bag. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty hungry. I'm just starting to get a little hungry. So I don't know.
The worst thing would be not only escaping out of handcuffs, but escaping in handcuffs with a bag full of shit next to you. That would be something.
I'm praying it doesn't get to that, man. I'm praying it does not get to that.
But yeah, so the next one I have, which is the last one for the Steel Post, Sal and Jordan. This is Matty Chef. He's our good friend. He posted this picture right here. You see the wall of Hasbro sign?
I did see that, yeah.
He has over, what he writes is, on the day I received my 49th signed Hasbro, a purple Bret Hart thanks to my boy Nick Bucci, who we love. It is only fitting that I am now able to display the pride of my wrestling collection. This is legitimately a dream wall. Yes, only 47 are shown on this wall because the 2 Undertakers are on my desk. Thanks to all the good brothers that made this dream a reality. 49 signed Hasbros.
That's
and
crazy.
How many are there? How many do we know? How many there are total? I forget. Are we talking 70 or what's the total with Hasbro?
I don't know the total. Jordan, what is the line that you collect that you're complete on almost?
We could talk about it because I refuse to talk to anyone about it.
Oh,
the story is quite fascinating. It's classic superstars and ruthless aggressions 1 of 500s.
Yes. Tell Sal, Jordan, if you can.
Now wait, why do you refuse to talk to anybody about it?
Out of respect to the seller, right? I just and I mean, first up, for some reason, I guess the value of the things, I don't ever post it and stuff. I have an anonymous Twitter, which Seany does follow. It's the J Collects. Like I don't mind talking about it within the community, but I'm not talking about it on my regular social media. But I could tell you the story exclusively. This is the first time publicly talking about it.
That's it. Thank you, bro. We need that breaking news.
So the story kind of goes back when I was a child. I grew up in an era where there was no, like, obviously there was social media, but I was deprived of it for a very long time growing up. So I never knew ringside collectibles or other ways of getting figures. When I grew up, mid 2000s, early 2000s, whatever I saw in the store is what I knew of wrestling. And whatever I saw on Monday or Friday is what I knew of wrestling. So I just started collecting after the classics. So I didn't really know that they made an Andre the Giant or Ric Flair, all these legends, right? Until one day I was locked in my buddy's basement, garage, the garage. We walked in and it closed and you can't open it from the inside. And we're trying to climb up these bins to grab these garage handles from the top. And while we were doing it, all these 4 or 5 bins fell out and all these classics like come rolling out in
Oh
mint on
my
card.
God.
Now this was my grade 8 year, so I'm not collecting in front of anyone now. It was awkward. It's embarrassing. I believe we were even with girls. So it's like, okay, we're not mentioning this. And then, so then we
Yep,
just like threw
yep.
all the classics back in the bin. And I didn't really think of anything of it. But I never stopped thinking like they made an Andre the Giant. They made, so fast forward to the pandemic, as a performer, as a magician, I lost everything. Like no job. I was home all day. And I've always listened to the Major Pod. I remember listening to the very first episode. So I'm always fascinated by getting into collecting. I was like, no, I can never buy these action figures. But
Yep, yep.
around 2020, I'm like, I need a hobby. But my therapist said, you need a hobby because you're going insane just thinking that you don't have a job anymore.
Yep.
And I went online and I on eBay and I saw Gold Dust Classic Superstars and I thought that's the box, the packaging from inside that garage. I want to collect these. And I messaged the seller saying, hey, do you have any others that like I can buy at once? Because I'm from Toronto. So when you buy from the States, if you're paying $50 for an action figure, you're really paying around 200 for it, because the conversion rate on the price of the figure and also the conversion rate on import, shipping, and all of
Yep.
that. So I like to buy in lots to make it worth it. And this lady's like, yeah, I am picking up the rest tomorrow. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, someone I know went to jail. His house was foreclosed, and I obtained everything that's in the house. And then
Wow.
I'm like, oh, okay. So then I was like, and at this point, right, and this is my regret because I'm back in it. I was like, I'm gonna collect a few of my favorites, like the dead guys, like Harley Race, and I even though I'm not an 80s guy, I love 80s wrestling. So I'm like, okay, so I picked out a few that she had and really sold it to me for $5 each,
Oh
really,
my
at the
God.
time. And then when I realized the value of these, because I was more into it then, I basically bought her whole collection. I think it was over 85 figures, mint on card for like $5 each. And I
Oh my God.
and because I've been so nice to her and like we developed a great friendship and she would throw a few in, like she threw in one of 3,000 Undertaker Classic Superstars, the one of 3,000 Edge Classic Superstars for free.
How
And
much would
then
that figure be roughly, Jordan? Like just so
I
our
think
viewers know.
I mean, maybe if you bought one in the States, maybe 250, but if I were to buy it
Wow.
from Canada, it'd probably be around 450,
Wow.
500. And then this is the catch. She had a 1 of 100 Sergeant Slaughter. And I was like, I want to buy this. And she's like, I want to keep this one for my kid. It's the only wrestler I actually know of. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, you might want to get it graded though. And she's like, okay. So I sent her all the information for the grading company. She sends it in to get graded. And it sits at the fucking grading company for like a year or a few months. I don't know the full details on that. And she got it back ungraded. And I'm pretty aware of these classic superstars. And it wasn't open, but I think this was in the boom of when all the grading companies were overloaded and stuff.
Got it.
I don't know exactly what happened, but then she got it back, and I basically spent 2 years convincing her to sell me this figure. And I'm like, I'll come over. She lives in Pennsylvania. Oh, she lives in Baltimore. Sorry. So then I'm like, I'll come over and do magic for your kids and stuff. And, she's like, okay, how much would you charge? And I'm like, the action figure and stuff. And then, long story short, just yesterday it came in the mail. So I convinced her and she sold it to me for
What?
$130 shipped, Canadian. And she threw in a signed Jake the Snake Classic Superstars that she found lying around in her house as well. But I was into it,
Wow.
right? Yeah, so like that is a whole story that I mean, like I'm sure she doesn't care if I tell it or not, right? But I just I don't she, people were reaching out, can I buy it for you? And like to be honest with you, a lot of these figures I don't really care for, but I still can't sell it because of how good she was to me, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And stuff. I'm not saying that one day I won't, but as of now, I just think that's a bit slimy, right? Like,
All right.
For
I mean,
sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
For
you
sure.
corny fucker.
Yeah. And I was gonna jump in then and say that. But yeah, man, and that's the story of my classics. And then Shawnee and I were one of 12 Andre the Giant brothers here.
Yeah.
So you know, there's other classics. Oh, I got the 1 of 3,000 Undertaker for free, but that's because I bought it on Amazon, and the seller shipped it, but for some reason he checked off that it was sent at the door, but he sent it to the post office, so it was never there, and I reported it as stolen because there was no photo, no proof that it was donated. I got instant money back, and about 2 weeks later the post office calls me and says, you have a package here, and I go, no one told me. And then they're like, well, it looks like the owner or the delivery guy marked it as delivered at the door, which is weird.
Wow,
So
that's
that was
wild.
cool.
So
That's
you're
wild.
complete now? You're complete with these?
No, I have probably over 200, around 200.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I'm complete. I don't have
And
all.
you
I have
kept them all mint in box?
mint in box. I have a special room in my house for them. I have special lights and security in it. And then I
Awesome.
started collecting the 1 of 500s recently, because at the end of the day, when you go from buying an exclusive classic superstar for $5, I'm sorry, I can't buy an exclusive for 300 USD. I just don't have that
Yeah,
in me,
it's
Right.
too much.
especially
Yeah, I
in the
agree.
pandemic. So
Now, is that the
Yep.
line with like the Bobby the Heenan Weasel suit and Roddy Piper with the WrestleMania 6 face paint and all that? So you have
Yes.
those, or those
No.
are like the ultra? Okay.
Yeah, those are the ultra rares. And to be great, to be mindful, my dad went to WrestleMania 6 because it was here in Toronto, and he has a photo.
That's right.
Yeah, he has a photo of Roddy Piper right up in his lens, and he has the half face black, right? So I always kind of weirdly wanted it, right? So I could display the two photos beside each other. And when I first started collecting, it was like $300, which is nothing now. But I watched that figure, and I'm back then. I'm like, not $300. I'm not buying this. And then it went up to 800, and then it went up to 2,000. Then it went up to 3,000, and then now it's just like $8,000. But I have the 1 of 100 Piper in the boxing gloves. That was sold to me by local seller.
So same thing. Now I'm not into that line necessarily. Some of the things, whatever. But that Piper figure, I remember, listening to the pod and getting into rare figures. And not that I would like want prototypes or something just because it's rare, but that figure, I remember WrestleMania 6 well, of course, and I remember that moment. And I was thinking, well, right or wrong, or for the good reasons or not, that is going to be a historic, memorable moment. That figure is going to be rare. And I was clocking it like you, and I was like, $300. I'm not going to pay $300 for this. And dude, that was the opportunity. 300, 500. Now forget it. I'm not going to pay that much for it. But.
Yeah. And like literally the classic superstar spike happened in the entire pandemic. And I watched it with my own eyes, and it was crazy, man. Like that's the thing. And then the 1 of 500s is a whole different world. And I don't even know where half the people get their, pricing for these figures. I really don't. I have all 28 of them. all 27 of them. I'm missing one to make it 28.
Wow.
And they're all I'm a mint on card guy. I like the look of everything. And
I love it. I think it's so interesting, Jordan. We talk a lot, so it just found it so fascinating. And like at first I didn't even know who you are because you had like this like account. You were like so secretive. You're like, don't tell anybody. Like I'm like, okay, I won't,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know where the paranoia
he was like, don't tell anybody, but go to the store and you'll be able to buy it. And I'm like, yo, who is this kid? I don't even know him, man.
Yeah, and it's probably true because I have you on all socials, Sonny, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and they're all different names. So
I'm like, who is this kid? But like, I knew you were looking out for me because you're like, yo, like look at this, like this is an expensive figure, and like I said, it was priced at like $250 in the video, but then when I went back, it was $3,000 because Matt told them what they had.
I was shocked when I heard that, man. I was shocked. I'm like,
so I got it for like 1,500-1,600, and
this
like
still not bad. Do you still have it?
Yeah, I still have it. I actually got it signed by Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. But
let me give you real quick an update. I was just searching eBay for that Piper figure. There's one on there that's listed for $5,000 or best offer. 19 watchers. It's $5,000 or best offer. And then there's one that is up right now with bidding. It's got 9 days left. There are 42 bids. It's only at $118.
Yeah.
But I mean,
There's
obviously,
9 days left. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
gonna go through the roof. Yeah.
But this is, I mean, I'm so mad at myself for not just pulling the trigger. I remember listening to the pod in the beginning and hearing like some of the figures that they would spend or the amount that they would spend on the figures. And I'm like, I can't spend $500 or $300. And then I started to spend that. And then I went to like $1,000 or $2,000.
Yep.
What the fuck is wrong with me? How does it happen? When you go from 200 is a ridiculous amount to all of a sudden, oh yeah, I spent 2,000 on that figure.
Yep. No, bro, that's collecting though, right? You know what I mean? That's what happens in collecting is there's levels to it. You know what I mean? Like there's levels to collecting and what kind of collection do you have and what do you collect? And like I laugh when I see some people collecting like some of these guys that are very cheap to collect. Not because I think they're stupid, I think they're smart. But like I'm over here paying like $500 for a card and you're paying 20 because you PC somebody who's not as popular. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's that kind of thing. But all right, let's get to this week in collecting, our last segment. Not our last segment, our second to last segment. This is things that are going on in collecting. The first one I have is KWK, ran by my friend Sean NG. Is soon to release their line of retros as well. I'm super excited for it because Sean is a huge collector in China. He lives in China. And he has access to those factories, and those are his people. I'm sure that it will come out excellent. Like I am sure that his line is going to come out phenomenal. What do you guys think?
Jordan?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not up to date with all these newer lines. I'm really not.
Yeah.
So you have just one specific. That's it. You're the Jack's classics.
And the 1-of-500s ruthless aggressions. It would just be too chaotic. I whatever I see like on the newer lines is strictly what.
But what do you think? What do you think about Jordan though, as far as like flooding the market with too many of one kind? Of toys.
Yeah, I don't know when that all started. The Hasbro. Are you talking about the Hasbro-esque figures? I believe Zombie has one. Is kind of what I'm.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks because in the way, if someone, let's say Zombie creates such a beautiful line, but there's 7 other people that created a line. If I know the contracts correctly, which I probably don't,
right?
It's nice, but it's not good because they're going to be different figures. So they look. Right. It would be nice if one sole person can do this, so all of them are the same.
So they match.
Agreed, and that's what kind of Mark has been saying on the pod, and that's where I am as well because it's too much to keep up with. I want to be able. And by the way, Zombie is a billion times better than the next. I'm fine with the Mattel retros. Obviously, Mattel is Mattel.
Yeah,
but it's Mattel and Zombie that are really the only things that matter to me. Some of the other lines, I mean, I wish them luck. I'm not trying to crap on those lines, and I like some of the ideas of certain guys that would come out, or females for that matter that would come out. But I would not. It's hard for me to get into it. Once I got ripped off by Cella, where we're waiting for the King Haku, and I know the product's not as good. So when you see Zombie in hand or even in photos, it's clearly superior to anything else. Me personally, I'm probably just going to focus on Mattel and Zombie and leave the others out unless it's somebody I actually have to have.
Yeah, because that's the big thing. Like I'm a bit of an OCD freak, so I want everything to look the same, right?
Yep.
But yeah, man, I guess it would kind of the buying point was, oh shit, this person made this wrestler who I absolutely love, and I need to have him. But then now you're in a different hole now because, you know what I mean? But I get it. Oversaturated market, right?
For sure, for sure.
It's going to crash probably.
It's going to be like, listen, I don't, the thing is, as consumers, we don't need to buy them, right? So like, I'm okay with it being a consumer. I just worry about these companies forming that could lose a lot of money. That's all I think about, because like somebody like Mitch, or whatever, he may have a family and you just don't want that to happen to people thinking they're going to like when everybody gets in on let's say, for example, Bitcoin, and then it tanks, right? You know, like
Mhm.
that's just the things that happen in the market. Like, you know, with anything, it could be any product. You know,
Mhm.
it's eventually gonna fall. But yeah, so that one more thing for this week in collecting, and then we'll get to ask us anything. This piece of fucking shit. His name is Lex Cartagena, and actually, I'm gonna give you his full name because he's a piece of shit.
Okay.
And,
Who are you
and
beefing with now, Shawnee?
no, it's not a beef. It's not even close to beef. This guy tried to scam me
Oh, that's fucked.
on a Facebook group where he had posted. I posted for one of my friends. I was looking for this Hell in a Cell chair. So my friend was like, Shawnee, if you happen to see it, let me know. So I started posting in groups for my friend. All of a sudden, I get a message and it comes up and it says, hey, you know, are you still need that chair? And I said, hey, yeah, what's going on? How much? He's like 160. So I'm like, okay, I'll take it. You know, I'll take it, no problem. I said, send me pictures first. So he sends me a picture like this, right? So that's the
Okay.
chair. So then I write back without anything. I write back, why are you such a scamming bitch? And then
That's aggressive, Shawnee. How'd you know he was scamming right off the bat?
I knew it right away because I went on Google and you could see where he got the picture from eBay. So he got the picture from eBay and started recirculating it. So then
Yep.
all of a sudden, you guys are gonna die, okay? All of a sudden, my friend messages me, and I'm not gonna name him, but he gives me all his information. He gives me his phone number, his address, his date of what everything, right? So I messaged this to him, and this is his responses because he knew I had him, right? So
Yeah.
not only that, then he goes and gets Michael Johnson. He makes another profile to call me more names. And so I'm gonna give you a couple highlights
Did
from
he
that.
did he say anything about your weight, Sean?
Oh, of course he called me fat. Everybody, the first thing you do when you get into a fight, when you're fat, the first thing they do is call you fat. And I'm thinking in my head, are you fucking stupid? You know how many
Right.
times I've been called fat? Do you think that affects me, you fucking moron? Really?
It's crazy.
Like, I have a hot
Yeah.
wife, I have great kids. You think I give a fuck if it's in your mom's basement calling me fat? Are you stupid? You're trying to scam people out here, you Lex Cartagena.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't care. I will curse and I will swear. People like this need to be taught a lesson. So we're
Yep.
getting people that he scammed, and we're gonna get him locked up. We're gonna get him locked up because he's stolen over thousands and thousands of dollars from wrestling fans. And I will not stop until this guy gets in jail, you know. And after I posted his name and address or whatever, you know, like to him, and he said, I'm reporting you to the group that I'm reporting you to the group that airs your abortion of a podcast. So I said, I'll be by you to fuck your mom. I won't make the same mistake like your dad did by injecting your ugly ass into her. And then
There was a guy in Toronto that got arrested for that exact same thing.
yes,
Scamming people on eBay, or not eBay, scamming people wrestling merch.
yes, yeah. So this
He's
is the
in
last
jail.
thing. This is the last thing I'm going to say about it. But he writes, I said, you know, he keeps calling me a pussy, whatever. So I said, you think I'm fucking around? Like, there's consequences to your moves. And people like this are so used to not having consequences that they forget it's the real world, right? So then I said, you're gonna get jammed up. Don't worry. He says, lose some weight. And then I write ha 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 and love it. And then he writes, ugly, you get me in my property, I'll put your head in the ground. I will gouge your eyes out and skull fuck you. And then I said, you won't even see me. As fat as I am, I move like silence, like the G in baloney.
That's great.
Take that, Lex Cartagena.
Shawnee, you don't let this shit get to you. Now, I do agree that these scammers it's just like the lowest of low. Like
So
how low,
man.
how despicable can you be? But
Yep.
don't get worked up over it. Luckily, you didn't get scammed. No, I'm all for getting him in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what? Why pay him any mind? He's a low life. He's sad and pathetic.
Sal, I know. It's just like I just hate I have some money that I can I thank God I do well for myself. But what about the people that don't have that extra money to fall back on? And this guy is robbing them. Like, say if they spend their last $100 they have to buy something for themselves, and then this guy comes in their messages, and they end up getting their money stolen. You know, that what like really hurts me. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, that's it. That's it for that. But you're never gonna win, guys. You know, if you scam and you're a dishonest prick, you're gonna lose. That's it.
Mhm.
You know. All right. Ask us anything. Our favorite part of the podcast, where we ask you guys questions and you ask us questions and we answer them. I picked 3 for this episode. Jordan, you're going to be in this with us, okay?
3. Wait, quick. One question on my end. Sal,
Yeah.
what's your Instagram?
I don't have Instagram anymore.
Okay,
He
that's
doesn't
why.
have it.
Okay, I was looking for you. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't
Bo,
want
this is a reminder, Bo. You got to take our Instagram off the top. So, have you ever had a paranormal experience? If so, how was it? From our brother Sal Davalos.
I have not. I don't know. I don't even know really what that means. So
Yeah,
maybe Jordan would be qualified for this one.
Yeah, Jordan, have you ever had anything?
No, I personally, I don't want to debunk people, and I've heard people have some crazy stories, but as someone in my industry, right, it's hard for me to believe in stuff like this.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
No, I get it, because your mind tricks you. You know, yeah, I
right.
get it. I get
you
it.
know,
I have actually had.
And who can he spend the rest of his life or the last few years debunking it?
Yeah, I know. I actually had one thing happen to me, but long story short, I came home when I was in high school. I lay in my bed, and in high school I was playing like 5 sports, so I literally was up from like 6 a.m. and I didn't go to sleep till like 11 p.m. You know, I didn't get home till 9 p.m. So I go home, I take a shower, I put my basketball shorts on, I lay down. As I lay down, I lay on my side, I feel the blanket move up on my legs. And now I didn't touch anything. I didn't move. I was stone still like a rock. And I swear to God, the blanket moved about this much up my leg. I felt it. I literally put myself asleep, and I was like, see you tomorrow. And I told my parents the next morning, and I was shitting bricks, guys. I was shitting bricks. But yeah, I
and that stuff fascinates me.
Turns out it was Lex Cartagena, whatever the fuck.
Are you sure, Shawnee, it wasn't one of your dogs tugging on the blanket?
No, I didn't have any dogs then. You know what I mean? Like, so it was, bro, I really believe, because it was like, it wasn't like slow. It was like fast. So like, there was no way it could have been something else, you know, but who knows? Second question. Is Sal going to join the trip to Florida to visit Cartagena and show that scammer what's good, since he tracks the podcast too?
I did find it funny that he was like, screw you, you fat fuck, and blah, 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 blah. And your podcast sucks. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute now. I'm on that podcast. Watch your mouth. But no, I don't know if I'm going to Florida or not. But he can say, believe me, whatever he thinks that he said, I've heard a lot worse. So I don't even pay attention to it.
Me too. I agree, Sal. The last one, what was your first gaming system, and what was your favorite game on that system from Joel Baggett? You guys can both go, and then I'll answer last.
Mine was the 2008 SmackDown vs. Raw.
Oh, that's
I mean, actually, no, it was GTA, but that was quickly taken away.
Yeah, GTA. Yeah. What about you, Sal?
Nintendo was my first system. I mean, it's I could really pick any game. I used to love the baseball games, though, like Baseball Stars, RBI Baseball. I mean, obviously Mario Brothers, Balloon Fight, Dr. Mario. And I really loved all those games. Sports games, mainly baseball, but any sports game, Tecmo Bowl, Super Bowl. Tecmo Super Bowl. Come on, dude. I mean, all those games. Nintendo's my favorite. That was the original. That'll always be my favorite.
So mine was the Nintendo 64, and I had asked for a PlayStation 1, but my parents got me the N64, and it was the best thing that ever happened. I loved the Nintendo 64. I had Quarterback Club with Brett Favre on the
yeah, I remember that.
Yep. And I had Zelda, which is one of my favorite games ever. So yeah, that's it. So that's it for me. But hey, Jordan, tell everybody where they can find you and where can they watch you, where can they follow you. Go ahead, let us know.
Yeah, Mindbender Magic on Instagram is the best way to find me. It's almost corporate holiday season. If anyone needs a show, I'll travel all over the world to do what I love. So
awesome,
Mindbender Magic.
Awesome. Well, listen, we
and thank you guys for this hour went by so quick, and that's all I ever asked for. So thank you guys so much for this.
Well, no, we thank you for having us on. And Sal, any last words for today?
No, I make sure I want to see the videos of Jordan getting the hell out of there, what that looks like. And I want the after story. If he had to go to the bathroom, if he mentally got messed up along the way, I'm curious to see how this thing plays out here.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm going to do a whole documentary on this. So, and I'll make sure you guys get the first viewing before.
Yeah, that's awesome. But we love you guys. Thank you for watching. And you know what time it is. We're out of here, baby.